tonight's performance. Number 1, do not look too long into the count or the troop's eyes. If you stare too long into their eyes, you could trigger their hunger, and you don't want that tonight. They have consciously eaten an hour before the performance, so they should be okay. Number 2, no abrupt noises or quick movements. The vampires have acute senses and are very susceptible to chaotic behavior. Number 3, the count is a particular relationship with the audience. Now, I don't mean that he wants you to laugh and clap at anything, quite the contrary. He wants your genuine reception. I think that's it. Oh, bonus number 4. Please have all your phones and gadgets silenced. I pity to see what would become of us all if that were to happen. Alright? If you'd like to schedule a consultation, please contact our Facebook page where we're always looking for friends.
Thank you, Portal. That was well put. And thank you to all of you. It's so good to have as many of you here tonight. My name is Zadie, and I'm personally through the moon with excitement to perform for you this evening. You will be witness to some of the Count's most intimate details. Not all of it will be pretty, but I know that you are going to be enthralled with everything that you see. Oh, it is with great pleasure that I introduce a third of our troupe, Durina. Welcome, Durina.
Hello, everyone. Zadie.
It's wonderful to see you. Aren't you excited?
Thrilled. Is Lawrence here?
Not that I know. Is he with the Count? I mean, Smackula.
Let us hope.
What are you thinking?
I worry that if he's not already here or currently with the Count, that we may not see him.
Lawrence wouldn't abandon us.
Not abandoned, just not be physically with us tonight.
I pray that not.
Good evening and welcome to the performance of Count Smackula and his 3 scares. I'm so happy you all came. You have all, for one reason or another. Where's Lawrence?
He's not with you?
The show must go on. Welcome to the performance of Count Smackula and his 3 scares. You have all, for one reason or another, decided that we're spending a night of your time, your most valuable time. We appreciate you all. It is a very special evening indeed for all of us. My name is Christian Drago Smackula. Some just know me as the Count.
Count!
What is it, Zadie?
We cannot go on without him.
We must.
We won't.
That's ridiculous. We can perfectly manage. You, Durina, and I were performing years before Lawrence joined. We can carry the dead weight.
It's not a matter of whether or not we can do it. It's more important that we do it together.
He always does this.
We probably let his hunger get him.
That is very likely.
We should just call him.
The stage manager has our phones, and I would not try your luck.
Ready, call like 2 voicemail.
Man, you absolutely not.
Ha! What did I tell you? Never mess with the stage manager on duty.
I like her.
I think I may know where he is. I'll go.
What will we do?
Improvise.
I'll be back soon. Don't spoil the show.
Without giving away anything juicy, I will clue you in on the few things that are about to transpire tonight. Tonight, y'all will hear a few stories, deeply personal, some troubling, and all significant. I will expose Abraham Stoker and his use of exaggeration in his artistic expression that has become a pop culture cash crop. I will share our path of the undead, but what is more is that we will perform it for you. There is no better way to understand the foolishness and uncertainty of humanity than through its performance.
We will be reviving our 1990 production of Count Smackula and his 3 scares. With the entire original cast, that makes this the 100-year anniversary performance. We will perform 3 true events or scares in the Count's past, thus vindicating him from the wretched blood trail left by Abraham Stoker in his classic piece of fiction.
There is one thing I cannot stand.
What's that, Count?
It is the spreading of falsities. Any story can be convincing if told well. That is a distinction I would like to make today. It is not that I would claim that Abraham Stoker is talentless. He told his story very well. He took an encounter, us Romanians to be monsters. It would be easier if we just showed you. I had been in London for a couple of years. I had quit my job as a stagehand for a famous traveling magic show and dedicated myself to the theater. This was 1893. I was enthralled by all things performance, and London is where it was happening. I had just seen Henry Irving's Hamlet at the Lyceum Theatre, where coincidentally Stoker was working. I had read the reviews of Irving, and I thought his work was fine. I didn't think it was stunning. I didn't think it was jaw-dropping. I didn't think it gave me goosebumps up and down my arm. He was a serviceable Hamlet, but Ophelia was better. Ellen Taylor stole the show right out from underneath his feet. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, I was just telling Stoker what a crock of shit Irving was at a nearby public house.
You can't possibly believe that. Irving is the best actor in London, bar none.
Irving's combatant presentation of character could not mesh with Taylor's undeniable quest for authenticity.
I'll have another. What else did you think of the Prince of Denmark?
Another gin for me as well. I thought it was a piss-poor attempt at the bard's handiwork. Just because you have a budget doesn't mean you have to flaunt it. The costumes were decadent, yes, accurate to the time, sure, but from an audience perspective, they were abundant and distracting.
Those costumes were the name of every review.
The critics are, of course, Shakespeare does not have to be propped up on a pedestal, dressed in ivory and vine. It needs to be felt, understood, relayed to the audience.
Sounds like you're calling us phonies.
Us?
I'm the general manager of the Lyceum Theatre.
Is that right? You will have to excuse me. Now, I would never be so critical on such an inane point. If I realized I was discussing it with someone who had personal involvement, I would have said it, I don't know, a little more vague, I suppose.
Another round for my forthright friend and I, if you please.
So you're writing a book?
Yes, indeed.
Well, what's it about?
It is a tragedy based in folklore, set in Transylvania and told through journal entries.
Transylvania? That's not far from where I was raised.
Oh yeah? The closest I've been to Transylvania is the Romanian mountains. The landscapes were beautiful, but the food was atrocious. The least they could do is put some garlic in their bowls of immediate bowel movements.
See here, Abraham! I am Romanian! We do not use garlic abundantly like other cuisines. It overpowers everything!
5 checks later, you've got something
I beg your pardon.
there on your face.
Did I get it?
No, there's a mirror just over there if you'd like.
I would rather not bring mirrors into the situation.
Excuse me?
I am not a big fan of looking at myself in the mirror.
Do you typically have shit on your face?
Did I get it? No. It's just that I masturbate to spend my hours gazing at my own reflection.
Sounds like insecurity.
I am perfectly comfortable in my own skin, thank you very much. You have not noticed I am quite the specimen.
I have noticed you have a loud mouth.
It is an injustice to oneself, not voice one's thoughts and feelings. I have already apologized for talking darts at your precious Irving. It is not that I am sorry for having voiced the thoughts. No. I am the voice of thoughts to you to understand what I thought about them.
What does your shadow look like?
What shadow? Barkeep, another round, please. And scene. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Lawrence Heming. Where were you?
So sorry, Count, I mixed up the times. I had to keep track of multiple time to save my life.
Time is the same, Lawrence. The sun goes up and around at the same speed. Stop blaming it on mortals. She's looking for you.
Nice of you to join us.
Frankly, it is unacceptable. Zadie, my frustration has given way to my hunger. Can you do me a favor and fetch a vial from the basement? I keep a stash in the mini fridge in the back room by the broom closet. If you do not give me one, you will have to excuse me, my mortal audience. But to keep you all safe, I must take precautions.
I'm half surprised you did not continue the show without me.
I tried.
You performed your mortal memory with Brad. Should we show them how your second encounter went?
Yes, of course. Why not? Now that we are waiting for Durina.
It happened at the same bar, right?
Yes, it did.
You see, mere days after meeting the then not so famous author, Count Smackula himself was bitten and turned.
I had denounced the feeble minds that given way to such superstition as vampires, and then was swiftly met with irony. A couple of years later, Dracula was published. And it sold.
It sold well.
Of course I read it.
And when he did, he noticed many strange similarities from the conversation he had with Abraham that fateful night. And then I said, was that an invitation to come inside?
Hello, Abraham.
It's Bram now.
Your friend. I'm not so sure about that. You, sir, are a thief and a hack.
Excuse me a moment. What the hell are you talking about?
Do you not remember me? We met at this very public house.
If we met here, then that explains it. I don't recall a thing about.
Oh no. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Count Smackula, a Romanian. Ring any bells, Bram?
Ah, yes. The fellow who thought Henry Irving was no Hamlet. I remember.
I am here to talk about your book. It is flattering you dedicated your masterpiece upon me.
You read it.
I did. First couple of chapters were pretty great. The rest of it was a lengthy nighttime snooze.
Couldn't put it down.
Listen here, Bram.
If this is about autographs,
I do not want your autograph.
then what do you want?
I want credit for basing your character off of me, you xenophobe.
And how do you suppose I got any inspiration from you?
Smackula. Dracula. I do not know where to begin.
Pure coincidence.
You know, you were spot on with a few things about vampires. They can be anywhere, anybody.
You don't say.
They live forever by consuming the blood of the living.
Barkeep, another round for my old friend and myself.
No, thank you. I already have mine.
And
see.
Abraham Stoker, well, he lived to see another night.
But I was determined. There was a fire inside of me. At first, I took it personal. Then, I decided that mortals and vampires need to hear the truth. My truth.
He gathered a group of vampires that he could trust, that he could depend on.
Count, can you come with me? I need your help.
I am a tad busy at the moment.
Count, please. This demands your personal attention.
So be it. If you will excuse me, I will return shortly.
I've never seen such an eager-looking group of mortals in all of my days.
Where the hell have you been?
Hello, Durina. I've been here. Where were you?
Do not test me tonight, lords.
I was picking up a few things.
A few living things?
was hungry by the show's end.
You brought them back with you alive?
In the basement. It's not like I had time to pour them in the bottle.
They smell like marathoners.
Could be. Here, this should get you a fix for now.
I did work up quite an appetite looking for you. You messed up big time!
I know.
I cannot perceive a realm of existence that would allow such backward behavior. You were not only late to our performance, but you also brought a half-alive buffet of food.
I do not think it difficult to conjure a reality where I was hungry and thought, well, we will be famished by the show's end.
Some were still living. Lawrence, you know we cannot risk turning a random.
Living is a mortal construct.
You know what she meant.
If this were our job, you would be fired.
It's not our job. And I'm not the first to be late for a performance. At least I showed up with food. Remember Detroit? Smackula went to the wrong theater. I know Durina remembers. We waited so long, she ate half our audience.
That was a long time ago.
So he's the catch.
Yes, I know. But this isn't our job. This is supposed to be what we love to do, what we want to do.
It's why we were brought together, to tell these stories. We wouldn't have each other if it weren't for Smackula.
But is that all we were brought together to do?
That's the first reason.
I think we were meant for more than to tell Smackula's revenge tale.
It's more than just about him getting revenge. It's about setting the record straight. It's about a century of canon based on misinformation. You've seen what the mortals have done to our history. It does us no good to have mortals write the scares of vampires.
That may be true, but we cannot unwrite those stories. What do Stoker's intentions matter when the consequences have already been sung?
Exactly.
I see where you're going with this.
I don't know what you mean.
You want to perform your own scares.
Our own scares. What's wrong with that? We have a lot more fun when we're performing anybody's scares, not just Smackula's.
Absolutely not. Not right now, Lawrence. We still have a show to do in case you've forgotten.
Believe me, I haven't forgotten about you.
There's no better time than the present. Smackula always says that.
When he's talking about eating.
Zadie, listen.
No.
Why?
The only reason we're all here is because of Smackula. He chose each of us.
I know he turned you, Zadie. He chose you specifically. But not Durina.
He may not have turned me, but he's still like a father.
No doubt about it. The Count is like a father figure, a mentor, and a friend.
Who will direct us?
Smackula doesn't always direct.
I don't feel like saving some sort of mutiny. I like my life the way that it is.
Life is a mortal serial.
There's a lot to like. I don't know any other vampire family that has what we have.
What do we have?
Trust.
Hope.
Love.
You love me?
I know it's not something we say.
You said you love us.
We're loners. Vampires aren't usually known for their selflessness. We're not wolves, we're coyotes. We spend our nights alone, hunting alone, traveling alone, existing alone. After 100 years of being with y'all, I feel like we're the closest thing to a family any vampire could ever have.
A family. Right. Families support each other. He would understand. Who's to say you think it's such a bad idea?
He will not be so quick to give up his life's work. Durina, what do you think of this nonsense?
I can see both sides. I think Smackula would be open to the conversation. Maybe not initially, but I know he's thought of performing different scares.
He told you this? What do you mean different stairs?
It was an autumn night, a beautiful night. I remember because I wanted some time alone. Not like I had to get away. I just wanted a moment to look at the stars. I used to enjoy constellations a lot when I was more alone. Then Smackula appeared from the shadows.
Durina, I may not be as truthful of you as you may think.
I know, you don't reveal much. Not with your words, anyway.
My revealing otherwise.
Wear it on your sleeve, as they say.
Are you calling me moody?
I didn't say that, but when you are moody, I know it.
For the record, there's nothing wrong with being moody from time to time. afraid of what seeing those airs will do to me.
It is just a story.
This is not just a story. Stories are everything. That is why we are here. If I do not tell Mary's story, we will be lost. We'll die in me.
That isn't quite what I meant. I just meant that however painful the story might be, it won't kill you to tell it.
How do you know? What if I am unable to handle the reality of the memory once it is played back to me?
You must. Fearing the unknown is a way of coping that serves as a distraction. If you want to move past these troubles, you must deal with them appropriately.
I've always admired how you were able to calm many of my remaining nerves.
If I didn't, then they'd become my nerves. He didn't gather the truth that day, but it was clear to me that Smackula was interested in performing different spheres.
Oh, that's wonderfully performed!
Captain Whack!
And very full.
We were just warming up, trying to stay fresh.
Indeed, excellent portrayal, Lawrence.
Did I miss anything, Pop?
I told you about my sister in confidence, Durina.
I normally don't speak of our mortal families
Which is
often.
precisely why I'm curious you thought to bring them up now.
I did not think you would mind. I didn't know it was a secret.
Why would I want our exclusive chat to converse with the rest of the troop without myself present?
I was not aware its concealment was a high priority.
If I wanted to discuss it with the others, I would have invited them.
I know you want to tell us your family scares. You know it too.
That is irrelevant.
It is very relevant. You don't ask for help. You rather get angry with me than face discord.
Yes, I'll have to make future conversations clear whether or not they're to be retold to others.
Stop acting like you're upset with me. You don't care whether they know that I remind you of your mortal sister. What difference does it make? You're upset because it's an easier reaction than facing the dissonance.
You never call me out like this, Durina. You've put me quite on the spot.
You never ask for help and I'm tired of waiting. We're all here for you. Won't be doing this alone.
See, I had a loving family. I grew up with a father who worked for the new Romanian government, a mother who taught philosophy at university, and a young sister who died at a young age. Mary and I were close growing up, but I was away when she got sick. I felt guilty. I felt like I had abandoned her. I could not stand to see her so depleted of life. They had been bloodletting her for days, hoping something would work.
Christian, I thought you were in school.
I was, Mary. I'm so sorry I can't get back sooner.
Any sooner you would have seen my veins.
Looks like they have you managed up well.
Christian, I missed you.
Missed you too, Mary.
Tell me about school. Are you learning a lot?
A whole lot.
And are the people nice?
Yes, made plenty of friends.
I worry about you when you're away.
Worry about it. Mary, I'm fine.
But the war is coming. Dad keeps talking about it.
You do not have to worry about war right now.
I do not want you fighting.
If we do not fight now, we will suffer later.
I just don't want to see my brother get hurt.
Christian, I'm so glad you made it.
Hello, Mother. What is a priest doing here? She's not dying.
I'm here to mend your sister some.
By leaving her dry? How will that help? It's an outdated remedy.
I'm sorry, Father. My son's just upset because of Mary's state.
It's okay. Son, we must have faith. Our father knows what he's doing.
Do you know what you are doing?
Christian, don't wait outside.
Sorry, Mary. That is the last memory I have of my sister Mary. She should not die soon.
Count,
Yes, lady.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Count.
Yes, Lawrence.
We want to perform our own scares, Count.
Is that so?
Yes.
Is that true for all of you?
Yes.
Zadie, do you want to perform your own scares?
I do.
Well, I think this is a splendid idea.
You do?
We've already watched this performance, and as I was saying, there's no better time like the present.
I knew you'd be into it. They thought you were going to rock fate.
You have already established my mood. we give them a moment to gather themselves, I think it would be a great idea if I gave you a glimpse of what you would have seen. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Count Smackula and his 3 scares, abridged and alone. We just saw what happened with my sister Mary, and I marched myself off to war. If I was being honest with all of you in this moment, I was trying to find death myself. Now, most people have a romantic notion of war that looks something like this. But the reality, war for me looked something like this. You see, I was part of the brigade that was digging ditches for the mass burial sites. I was by death every single day, and yet I could not get further from it. So, imagine the irony of when I returned home, I found my village had been destroyed. The main square had been leveled, my house had been leveled, and with it, my family had been killed. My life was destroyed in that moment. I stumbled from drink to drink, and from bar to bar. If I'm completely honest, I was probably trying to find death in a bottle. Now, one night, I stumbled into a magic show. The next morning, I found myself as a part of a traveling caravan. Most people have a romantic notion of magic, which looks something like this. But the reality, magic looks like this. You see, it was complete bullshit. When I was a stagehand, I saw how all of the illusions worked and took the magic out of the show for me. Now, I traveled with the great Volkov. I would just call him the good Volkov. You see, he did not relate to the audience. He just saw you as dollar signs. He didn't realize you were on a journey of your own. You had left your homes. You would come to a show, and then you would return changed. Now, that was in London. We saw what happened with Abraham Stoker. That motivated me to go after the one person I still held responsible for my sister's death. And that was the priest that was bloodletting her. I found out what diocese he was giving masses. I showed up in the middle of the church, and he was up there on the altar. Anytime he mentioned anything about faith, I laughed. Anytime he mentioned anything about a higher power, I laughed harder. And then finally, when he talked about salvation, I kept laughing the whole time. The congregation saw me. As I was going up to the aisle, they all gave me sneers, and I returned every single one of them with pleasure. I got to the center of the church, and I saw the priest, and I screamed, "You bastard! You murdered my sister!" The priest was up at the altar, kneeling and praying. I remember your sister. She was delicious. The priest had been bloodletting my sister was a vampire. He fed on her until she died. Now, I was stuck within his gaze. I could not move. Most people have a romantic notion of being bitten by a vampire, which looks something like this. in reality, it looks like I need a volunteer. Miss, oh, you're a volunteer. Yes, excellent. I was going to go after more my taste, but let's go for you. All right. What is your name, please? What's that? Let's give Heather a round of applause. Excellent. If I can get you right over here, if I can get you right there, right there. Perfect. Delicious. But in reality, being bit by a vampire looks something like this. Oh, damn it. Welcome back. That was quick. Are you ready?
We are.
Are you sure I'm just having a bit of fun with our beautiful guest?
For sure.
I am so thrilled. Let's give our volunteer a round of applause. I'll see you later. So what are you calling the show?
Count Smackula and the 2 stairs.
What?
You're good, Smackula. And we are your 3 scares.
But,
It's not like any of them will know the difference.
very well. Who will go first?
You'll see.
I like it. Does anyone want to introduce the show, or should I grab our mortal?
We think you should introduce it. You are the count.
I am honored. 'Tis difficult to make an entrance after you've already entered. Oh, what the hell? Good afternoon, everybody. I am Count Smackula. Standing beside me are 3 of the fiercest vampires, friends, and actors I have the privilege of sharing the stage with. Together, we are Count Smackula and the 3 Scares. Oh, it's Durina.
I love my vampire family. We've established that. They've given me a sense of belonging. But sometimes I still get a little lonely. You see, I was happily married when I was mortal, and I've really grown to miss that kind of attention. I don't mean some big romantic gestures. I just mean the little things, small, everyday things. Like coming home from a long day, having a nice warm cup of tea waiting for me, a big hug. Or seeing your loved one from across the crowded room, making eye contact and seeing their face light up. Missing those things really pushed me to consider dating again. So I decided to make an OK coffin profile. I did my hair up nice, did some fancy makeup, took some nice pictures, and wrote a bio and hit publish. And soon enough, plenty of potential suitors messaged me. Not all of them were eternity material, but some of them seemed nice. There was one gentleman in particular who invited me to go to a bar with him that I had never heard of. I hesitated at first, but decided ultimately that it was time to get out there again, so I agreed. The thing is, dating as a vampire is a little tricky. I know it's difficult for mortals too, I've heard your stories. But with vampires, there are certain traps and loopholes you have to jump through. It'll just be easier if I show you. That was so cool, you even a passport to get in here.
What did I tell you? This place is great.
Not many people here. So intimate.
Yeah, the word hasn't spread yet, but pretty soon all the vampires in the city will be hanging out here.
Thank you so much, Ivan, for taking me out. It's been a while since I've had a casual withdrawal.
Thank you for taking the time. It is a quaint place, isn't it?
Wait, that's the perfect description. I like it. It's homey. I've never heard of it. And it sounds so good.
Yeah. So, what do you do?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that. I like
coexist with other vampires.
I have a family. We live together.
Is that right? Don't need too many vamps that stick together.
How about you?
I entertain the occasional passerby, but yeah, I have a vampire family too.
Really? How many are there?
I have 2 kids, Jenny and Johnny. I think of my kids anyway. I was the one that turned them. And then there's Marissa.
Do you consider yourself the father of the group? I didn't want to say anything, but you look older than your pictures.
Yeah, I am told I look older in person.
I cannot get over how good it smells in here.
Oh, must be all that fresh blood that didn't walk in.
Speaking of which, where is our bartender?
Good question. I saw him walk that way. Let me go see if I can find him. Stay right there.
We got her, Zadie!
Well.
It's Hyland!
That ain't happening until vampire.
It's Steve. I was having a lovely time, Durina. I was.
You're Gordon?
Of course he's mortal, you filthy murderer.
Vampire hunters?
That's right.
You see, vampires is unnatural. I am challenged to find any virtue at all. You do not align with objective truth.
What are you talking about?
When everything is subjective, as is true with relativism, things become bad. It is all moral consensus that we have no choice but to kill your kind.
You don't
We
know.
are the ones that fight your vampire agenda.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Shut your mouth!
I will speak. We have been around since the dawn of time. It will be here long after you're gone. I don't care what heinous, treacherous beliefs you have in your own time, but the both of you have made a terrible mistake. Now we will kill you all!
Ha! Durina, you are trapped. You can no longer spread your hateful, lustful life.
Steve, I will eat your heart! And scene!
I had no idea you were trying to date Durina.
I was a little embarrassed to admit it, but now maybe you understand why I don't do online dating anymore.
At least you got a free meal out of it.
If I had known, I could have been your weed band.
We should try that next time.
You know, my stare is something that I've been keeping secret too. I grew up in a really big family. There was never a moment I had to myself. I used to hate it. I later came to cherish time with family. After I was turned, I used to go back and watch my family from the shadows, but it became too hard to watch my family agonize over my departure. I spent more and more time with the Count. Eventually, he started to feel like home. Several years later, Durina joined us, and I caught glimpses of the family life I missed. Before I knew it, 20 years had passed since I'd seen my family. Then, the Count, Durina, and I decided to travel to America. On the day of our departure, the scene at Waterloo Docks was glorious. Just the kind of space I enjoy getting lost in. From first class to steerage, everyone was there, and no one was paying too much attention to anyone else. The docks were washed in a cacophony of bells and voices, with the stench of the fresh cash of the day being unloaded, and the ship, to be our home for the next fortnight, it rose 4 stories into the sky, and the steam stack rose another 4. It was painted bright red. The Count was all business. He checked in straight away, but Durina and I, we decided to explore the vessel from stem to stern. It was funny listening to the other passengers complain about the quarters. And it's true, the cabins were little more than coffins, but we felt right at home. I took to sleeping the days away and strolling the decks from dusk to dawn. I got a little exercise, a little fresh air, and away from the throng of the 200 passengers on board. And it was on one of these strolls that I ran into the last person I ever thought I'd see again.
You wanted to keep reading. I finished the work by the time you finished your book. You never seemed to notice. You knew I would sweep the floors, clean the bathrooms, make the beds.
I also knew you didn't mind doing it.
You're not wrong. I was inside double-checking my list. You let me know that you were going for a walk and you'd return later. You never did. You never came back.
I meant to.
Meant to.
I intended on returning.
You never did. You let us look all over London. Dad was never the same. He thought you abandoned us. He thought he did something to push you away. God, why? Zadie, why would you do that to us?
It is not a light topic.
You owe me the truth.
I was taken that night.
You were kidnapped?
Willingly taken.
Huh?
There's no easy way to say this. I was turned into a vampire. I met Count Smackula, and he showed me a light I never thought I'd find.
Count Smackula?
Yes, he's such a fascinating creature. He's here now. I can introduce you.
Introduce me to a vampire. Are you crazy?
I'm not crazy.
See, vampires are monsters. They come back from the dead to eat the living. They drink the blood of their families, from those they love.
Why would I ever drink you?
You're not a vampire. I don't believe it.
I am. Look. It has been an incredible gift.
A gift? You're a killer.
Immortality has a price.
You're a monster.
Maisie, I'm your sister.
You kill people. You're a predator.
I exist. Just because I don't follow your rules of living doesn't mean my presence is any less valid.
Don't come any closer.
What?
Stay back, you beast. I don't want to die.
I would never feed on you.
I've heard the stories. I know what you are.
Maisie, I only told you my truth because I thought of all the mortals in the world. You would understand.
I understand. You're not my sister. You killed my sister. You're an imposter living in my sister's body.
That's ridiculous, Maisie.
Help! Someone help! You must act on me!
Let's see!
Sometimes people that think that they're closest to you don't know you at all.
I'm so sorry you had to experience that, Zadie. I was not accepted by my little family either.
I was on that voyage with you. I had no idea you would kill your sister.
Yeah, sometimes when two sides of your family clash, it can be hard. But I do still like mortals aside from food.
Speaking of food, I understand. Vampires have rules. We must drink blood, not cow blood, sheep blood, or pig blood, but human blood, mortal blood. Count Smackula also has rules at his house. One of the most important being not to bring live mortals back to our rooms with us. It complicates things. One night I went out to the bar that I often frequent, mostly for the live music, but it's also sort of out of the way. You have to be lost to really kind of find it. I noticed a young couple sitting at the bar. They were fresh faces and seen them here before. I went over to the new blood and introduced myself. We got to talking, and I found out that they were new in town and didn't know very many people. They were collectors. They liked to collect things such as cars, figurines, different artifacts from all over. I told them, when you've been around as long as I have, you tend to absorb a lot of different things. We got to talking some more, and I asked if they would like to see my collection of trinkets at home. They didn't want to impose, but after some persistence, they were persuaded. Little did they know they would be joining my collection. Welcome to my room. I'm so sorry, but my housemates don't like me having friends over so late at night.
No problem, man.
We totally get it.
Can I get either one of you a drink?
you seen his shoes? He's eclectic.
Do you smell that?
Smell what?
I don't know. It smells kind of like.
I have your bourbon.
Thank you.
Lords, we were just admiring your canopy.
It's great, isn't it? Keeps the sunlight out. Also the mosquitoes.
Did you not need your self-cream?
I had plenty of alcohol at the bar.
Lords, what's this?
Ah, I see you found my Mardi Gras mask.
It's a mask? It's huge!
Yes, it's great. You can put your whole head inside and use the mouthpiece open for you to drink.
Genius. I want to go to Mardi Gras.
It is my favorite event of the year. I'm from New Orleans, so it's like getting to go home while being swept away to another time.
It looks like there's some blood stains here.
When you've had it as long as I had, you can't help but collect a little bit of blood.
Where I'm from, we have a pig roast. It's the event that everyone looks forward to in the summertime. They have a whole hog rotating on a stake. When I was young, it used to freak me out. I couldn't look at it. I can eat bacon, but I can't see the whole animal first.
Damn good pork, though. You should come with us next time. They put the pig right in the middle of the party. And everyone knows it's time to eat when the pig disappears.
Boys, you know the house rules. No food in the bedroom.
Count, I was merely reading aloud.
That's so, Lawrence. Then why is your favorite pork right here?
Safekeeping.
Safekeeping, as in.
See?
Well, all right then. Just remember, if you get caught with food in your bedroom, you get stuck with whole house laundry duty.
I got it.
Don't get upset. I'm only trying to help. We can have blood stains all over the house. We have to be able to sell this place when we leave.
I got it.
If you're going to eat in your bedroom, use a flask. You don't have to bring every mortal back here every time you're hungry.
I got it.
I'm sorry, Lawrence. I know you're responsible. I'll let you get back to your reading.
You can come out now.
No thanks.
It's okay.
What the hell are you people?
We're vampires, and if you don't come out of there, I'll kill you. That's not going to work.
Let us go.
I would like that. You two are enjoyable.
You don't have to eat us.
Pigs is pigs.
We won't tell anyone.
No, you won't.
Scene.
And that's how I got stuck with logic.
You know, I was very sincere with my apology that evening. I thought I had invaded your personal space.
Think nothing of it, Count. I understand how hard blood stains are to wash out.
I'm hungry. Me too.
First, let me say this. Those scares were very impressive. And it was my honor performing them.
We are your troops.